Ooh, my fur ripples in happiness. Graxia, the horrid usurper, is deposed.
Indeed, and an outsider stepped in to assist in that, which is a marvel. This one wishes all those involved in this change of circumstances.
Shamans have just...
An imperial garrison housed in a Khajiiti estate. My half-sister spared no expense, I see. Prefect Kalo commands a full complement of soldiers, mostly seasoned Imperials and not the Nibonese mercenaries that make up Euraxia's main forces. It's probable that Solinia and her assassination squad is here as well, so I advise caution. I prefer to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, of course, but these are enemy forces. We must do what we must to complete our mission. I'll work my way down from the upper levels of the house. You find your own entrance and we'll meet somewhere inside. Try not to alert the entire garrison to our presence, and keep an eye out for Captain Solinia or anything related to Euraxia's final order. We need to determine where the assassination squad plans to strike if we're going to save the Dragon Guard. As I said, the Dragon Guard I knew were the Emperor's protectors. I suspect this has more to do with legends that speak of their role as dragon hunters of old. Ah, Idle speculation isn't going to accomplish anything. If I were younger... I feel the weight of my years, and it gets worse the longer this goes on. In my younger days, I would have already corralled the dragons and banished the necromancers to a forgotten plane of oblivion. Enough of this. I'll meet you inside. Try not to alert the entire garrison to our presence.
Can't believe the prefect disobeyed a direct order.
One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat.
Feels like I've been at this forever.
One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat.
I can't believe it. What? Intruders!
It's always the same, day after day.
Let's talk. We need to speak quickly. I doubt I'll remain undiscovered for very long. This projection, a simple spell. Nothing to it, really. But that's not what I want to discuss. I'm hiding in an empty servant's quarters at the moment. I discovered that Prefect Kalo is no longer in charge here. In fact, he's been arrested. That's the thing. Prefect Kalo isn't really one of the Euraxians. His cohort of Imperials accompanied my half-sister into Rimmen, but he's been a vocal opponent of her coup and subsequent claim of rulership. Apparently, he refused another order. Kalo's probably being held on one of the lower levels. See if you can find him. He should be able to tell us more about the Dragon Guard and Saulinia's orders. Wait a moment. I'm about to have company. I'll find my way to you as soon as I can.
You're not one of Euraxia's mercenaries. I'm Prefect Kalo, commander of the Cygnus Irregulars. And you're that outsider working with the Khajiit militia. I expected you hours ago. Well, let's not dawdle. You have an assassination squad to stop, I assume, so if you'd open my cell? It's elementary. I pay attention to every significant event that occurs in the region. Comes with my job description. I have agents, spies, and informers from Riverhold to Rimmen. The dossier on you could choke a Wamasu. Now, about this door? I'm an Imperial without an Emperor. My cohort was assigned to accompany Euraxia on a fact-finding mission. She turned it into a conquest. I tried to temper her more violent tendencies, but her mercenaries outnumber my legionaries by a wide margin. I refused a direct order. Wouldn't give Solinia my soldiers or my file on the last Dragon Guard. So, here I am. How about this? You can find a copy of the report in my office. If the information it contains helps you, then come back and set me free. I'm a reasonable man. I have no great love for this land, but neither do I want to see it destroyed. Dragons were the last straw. In other words, this is me making a stand. You can find a copy of the Dragon Guard report in my office upstairs. Not much. I never got around to reviewing the report. You can read it yourself in my office. For some reason, this rumor of a last Dragon Guard inspired Euraxia's ire. Maybe because the legends say they were once renowned dragon hunters? Conquer Rimmen? Euraxia was sent on imperial business to a province that owed us fealty. There was no reason to conquer a place we historically controlled. No. She decided to make her own play for power while Emperor Varen was otherwise engaged. It was complicated. Look, our quick visit turned into an invasion. Euraxia contracted an army of Nibonese mercenaries to back her up. And then the Emperor disappeared and his empire collapsed. We were stuck here without orders or assistance. She burst into my office with orders from Euraxia, demanded I provide soldiers to support her assassination squad, then commanded that I turn over my file on this so-called last Dragon Guard. I politely refused both requests, and she had me arrested. An elite unit of mercenaries. They're rabid dogs that Euraxia points at her enemies. They like to kill, and they're extremely good at it. With the urging of the dragons, she pointed them at their current target, the so-called last Dragon Guard. Well, that puts a new spin on the situation. Solinia took my file. Then she and her soldiers went to assassinate this supposed last Dragon Guard to appease Euraxia's dragon allies. There's a copy of the file in my office, but I suggest you hurry. I'm a reasonable man. I have no great love for this land, but... I see you found the report. Now we can continue our conversation without being separated by those inconvenient bars.
Ah, there you are. And I see you've captured Prefect Kalo. I presume he surrendered without a fight?
Don't look so shocked. My irregulars are very good at what they do. It was simple enough for them to sneak in and set me free. Now, what did you learn from the report? Anything that will help us stop Captain Solinia and her assassination squad? As I said, we were never willing participants in Euraxia's conquest of Northern Elsewhere. My irregulars did as little as possible to advance her agenda, and we worked to sabotage it as often as not. Besides, have you forgotten about the dragons? The dragons won't stop after they kill or subjugate the Khajiit. We're in as much danger as everyone else. If Lord Garesh-Ri pardons my soldiers, we'll help fight the dragons. But we're going to need the Dragon Guard. Do you know where he is? Grand Chancellor, I propose that you get Garesh-Ri to pardon the Cygnus Irregulars so we can form an alliance.
An alliance? Interesting. Comrades would be helpful in the battles to come. I'll return to Rimmon, plead Kalo's case, and send someone to help you. Meanwhile, I suggest you start your search for the shrine at the Stitches. I'll take the Prefect to Rimmon and see if I can negotiate an alliance between him and Chimera. We could use the help, but I'm not sure our young queen will agree. Meanwhile, you need to go to the Scar and find that shrine before the assassins do. Well, news of Euraxia's death has reached her mercenaries. For the most part, they've decided that Zumog Foom is their new leader, and they're willing to do whatever the dragons say. I suppose they think that's better than being eaten. Trust? We'll have to see. From what I've learned here in the manor, though, it's evident that Kalo and his irregulars have no love or respect for Euraxia's mercenaries. That counts for something. Mistakes happen. They're a fact of life. But Prefect Kalo is a trained Imperial soldier. I know his type well. Unlike the Euraxian mercenaries, he'll be as good as his word. And if not, I'll turn him into a mud crab. I'll take the Prefect to Rimmon and...
Captain Solinia and her assassins left the estate shortly before you arrived. If you're gonna catch them before they find and kill the last Dragon Guard, you really ought to get a move on. Just what was in the report. No, wait a moment. There was something else. I didn't connect the two until just now. A merchant in the Stitches was selling actual Akaviri relics. Claimed to have found them in a cave in the western section of the Scar. As you can probably guess, Euraxia didn't go out of her way to consult with me, especially after I refused to turn over command of the Irregulars. From what I gathered, she and her necromancer, Zumog Foom, had or knew something the dragons wanted. Most likely something that Zumog Foom has promised to deliver, seeing as he's still in league with the dragons. I couldn't figure out what it was, but it must have something to do with the creepy floating head that follows the necromancer around. I've been nothing but helpful since you met me. Besides, I give you my word as an Imperial officer. I pledge myself and the Cygnus Irregulars to the service of the new Khajiit Queen for the duration of the dragon infestation. Then, I haven't given it much thought. To tell you the truth, I don't expect us to survive whatever it is the dragons are up to. If we happen to find a way to win the day, I'll extend my offer of an alliance for as long as the Queen will have us. been at this forever.
I have slain scores of Tamriel's greatest warriors. This will be no different. Trained for this moment. Come and perish. There can be no recovery when the lion roars. Come and test your mettle. Every strike here cuts the heart. Face me if you dare. Merry vitality surges through our veins. Make use of it if you can. You will need it. Already lost. Tamriel's finest swordmasters lie dead at my feet. What hope do you have? My skills undeniable. My training is immeasurable. My skills undeniable. How could I do such...
These ropes off of me. Joe Bonnie and I had a deal. I delivered.
True. But why keep paying when we can just make you do it for free? Now get inside.
Hey, you're not one of Joe Bonnie's thugs. Can you get me out of here? I'm getting out of here. Catch up to me so I can thank you properly. Thanks for your help back there. Jew Bonnie and her thugs are a bunch of hammers that think everything is a nail. Geniuses included. Altruism isn't a thing in the Stitches. So what do you want? Need a lock picked? Something repaired? Tarsnessy, huh? That's funny. Was just thinking about her recently, seeing what's gone on around this dump. How it's gotten, dumpier than usual. But she's pulling together a job. I swore that Kazda ran her out of town when he took over. Last time I ran my mouth, Jew Bonnie sent her unexpectedly handsome thugs after me. I'm not spilling any more secrets. But it's nice to know Tosnessy's still around. She really loves this place after all. Even after everything that's happened to her. Well, Jew Bonnie's sure to notice I'm missing. Joining up with a crew seems like a good way to keep my fingers unbroken. So sure, whatever Tosnessy's playing at, I'm in. The bowel. Well, that's ironic. I'll head there after I get my tools and find another pair of small clothes. Jew Bonnie runs the biggest salvage operation in the Stitches, and she knows she gets paid more if a salvage is in pure junk. When a crew found stuff that wasn't busted up, I fixed it. For pay. 'Cause that happened. He took over the Stitches and didn't care if people broke oaths, contracts, or ribs. Jew Bonnie saw a chance to get more labour for free. Just had to flex a little muscle. Yeah, don't let my rippling physique fool you. I'm, not much in a fight. That Kazda ran her out of town? Or tried to, I guess. It's not any secret. He may be a rancid pile of cat vomit, but this is his town now. He does what he wants. Bad blood. Truth told, Tosnessy would have been charged after dashing to Salzo died, if things hadn't gone down the way they did. It's not my place to say anything more than that. Well, most don't. And to be fair, I wasn't always the brilliant tinkerer I am today. I don't know what caused the change, honestly. I think eating that soul gem had something to do with it. Well, I didn't just pluck one up and eat it. I was scouting for the Dominion way north. Some ruin called Sardathal. I was running from some guards when I fell into a shaft. And fell. And fell. It was a long fall. Caught a ledge at the last minute. Broke my fall. And my fingers. Real mess. Anyway, I found myself in this strange cavern. Huge. Had dwarven ruins. Biggest I've ever seen inside of it. More stone and metal than I could imagine. Not so much food. Not quite. I finally managed to find a charis. Big bug. Tastes awful, don't recommend it, but I ate like my life depended on it. I mean, it did. I half remember a glowing stone going in my mouth. Swallowed it whole before I even realised. More like indigestion, but also this indescribable urge to fiddle with the ruins. Well, I guess I'd call it curiosity. But anyway, I fixed an elevator like it was second nature and got back home. Then I got discharged on account of my weekend. The bowel. Well, that's all.
guy. What is it?
This one is parched. But if we dice at a quarter's gulp, only cause those thugs win.
Do you find me attractive?
What in the moons? My fur! What was in this bucket? Whatever your death wish is, it's granted! Oh, my head. Just tell me what you're doing here before I turn your heart into a tomato. Oh, really? Taznas is still kicking around? A little good news to go around with all this bad. Like a fly in wine. Be careful of the wine, by the way. There's flies in it. I didn't say that. Well, what I mean is that I'd like to, but if Taznasi wants me for my magical skill, I have some bad news. My focus is gone. I mean my other focus. My arcane focus. A bubble to focus magica. I'm useless without it. I may have planned it. To Lulius and Scipio never know. I'd give the gold back, but Kazda's really gouging the price of a bottle these days. Even the swill in this flop house. The Avernos are inside. Get my focus back, and I'll owe you. Ugh, well, sometimes my power gets a little out of control. The Mages Guild was supposed to help me master it, but they take a dim view of people breaking curfew and getting drunk on kitchen duty, woo, and throwing up in the soup. When I need to cast a spell, I channel my magicka through the focus. It helps me weave everything together. Without it, my spells come out like tangled yarn, and the results are, well, unpredictable. Lulius and Scipion, they sit in the goiter's gobs like they own the place. Well, they do technically own it, but that's not the point. Ever since Kazda took over, the twins have doubled everyone's rent and the amount of water in the drinks. Because Kazda gets a nice kickback from all the money they bring in. And for good or ill, well, actually just ill. Kazda's in charge here, so he has the muscle. So the rest of us sit quietly and pay twice as much to get half as drunk. You might try sweet-talking the Avernos out of the focus. It doesn't take much to lead their minds into the gutter, if you don't smell like one. Otherwise, they probably got it locked up somewhere.
I am positively fuming. Julius has our entire wardrobe shipped here from Kvatch, and he still manages to pick out the exact same outfit I'm wearing. As if it weren't clear enough we're twins. But you're not here to listen to a sibling's prattle. That rancid-smelling thing? I can't believe my brother paid mostly honest gold for it. Probably cursed. He should just be rid of it and be done with the whole torrid affair. Speaking of torrid affairs, well, perhaps later.
New face in the stitches, then? I love new faces. I can front you a little money in exchange for... well, we can talk terms over wine. To what do my brother and I owe the pleasure? Focus. Looked like a collar to me. Pity it doesn't fit any of our pets. Don't call it such around Serene. Nearly clawed poor Scipion's nose off over it. It's such a good nose, too. Reminds me of Mother. Anyway, price is set. Will you pay it?
Guards need to know about this.
You should pay your bounty to the guard, criminal.
Blah, can't get the taste out of my mouth. It's awful. Good, Kazda's made the stitches unpalatable, like that swill he's got the tavern pouring. I'm ready to get out, but I wouldn't mind batting Kazda's tail along the way. I'm sure Taznasi feels the same. I need a moment or two. Look, I'll meet you at the bowl once the world stops spinning. Just a mage looking for something at the bottom of a bottle. I don't really know. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I ever knew. Look, you seem halfway decent, so don't stick your muzzle too far in, alright? Taznazi's got her own business, and I know too much about it already. I don't drink just because I like the flavor of the tavern's bilge. I'm hazy on the details. To be honest, I'm hazy on a lot of things these days. But I know Taznazi can't show her face in the stitches. And it's not just Kazda that'd like to see her dead. You've seen the type of people who call the stitches home. Thieves, smugglers, deserters. Nobody keen on laws. Of the few rules we have, she broke the one you don't break. Murder. I've said more than I should have already. It's in the past. Taznasi had her reasons. She always has her reasons. Not that I ever got to hear them. She's not going to stab you in the back if that's what's worrying you. Keep your mind on the job. I need a moment.
My destiny to walk the path with pride. Guiding winds push behind, darkness lies ahead. The threads begin to unwind. I must swallow my thread. Cannot
Said Nalitha the avuncular, even in somber times must the wayfarer be offered greetings. Nazdar greets you, wayfarer, though his times are somber indeed. What brings you to this one? Hotaza the corpulent often said, the forgetting of friends is a grievous wrong. Wise words. Taznasi has not visited him in some time, but this one has not forgotten her, so believe Nazdar when he regretfully declines her invitation. This one has lost a prized possession, a lute gifted by a dear, departed friend. It has buoyed Nazdar's soul for so long, he sinks without it. Weighed down as such, he cannot be the fleet walker Taznasi needs him to be. Truly? This one was practicing his lute in the canyon below, but his playing attracted irascible beasts. He was forced to leave it behind as he scrambled up the cliffs. The truth, however, noxious is sweeter than the rose blossom, to quote the venerable Bate. Nazdar plays, but not well. The others throw things at him when he practices, so he plays where he can be alone. A saint. He once led the Stitches, not to glory perhaps, but away from shame. Even saints do not live forever, nor did he. But as Ballant the Canonical said, the dead recalled in good memories are the true saints of our lives. To quote wise Renerzar, in places where many do not walk, you find those you do not wish to walk with. The beasts that pursued Nazdar may yet remain. Please, be cautious.
Rachin did not often visit Helkarm, for there was little gold to be found in a kingdom of shepherds. Besides, they had little kindness for strangers, especially those in this one's line of work.
Careful where you flaunt your wealth, Walker. You are a tempting prize indeed.
As Zubacha the Hermit said to Intasi after returning from his grand pilgrimage, "Hello. This one is cheered to see you without the blemishes of harm." As often said by Polo the Overstating, this is worthy of celebration. You have done this one a great turn. In the dark days the Stitches find themselves in, It is good to hold a memory of brighter times. Your kindness reminds Nazdar of the love dashing Tasalzo had for the stitches in life. This one recalls many joys in the company of Tasnazi and the others. He would like to feel them again. Nazdar will go where Tasnazi bids. Life of decades cannot be reckoned in minutes, so the blind poet has taught us. But Nazdar will do his best. The Stitches was once like it is today, a refuse pit of the spirit, home of vice, self-interest, and the vain depravities of life. The Salzo came to the gangs of the Stitches and showed them a common foe, Euraxia's armies. We harried them, stole from them, bled them dry, and we formed bonds. To quote Aidino the Aphoric, the greatest gift the indolent can receive is purpose. His death did not rip those bonds apart, but without the Salzo's care in keeping them tight-knit, they are unraveling nonetheless, and Kazda is pulling at the threads. But some, like Nazdar, keep the Salzo's memory and his hope. Nazdar knows you see more ribs than muscles on him. This is true, but he once was a brother of the Whispering Claw, so dedicated to that life he was, that he took a vow of silence. You have read the works of Vekla the Ephemeral. Nazdar is glad to know a fellow student. Yes, Nazdar was silent for 19 years, but one night in moonlight, he heard through his cell a song. A simple tune, but captivating. Some peasant tune hummed by a swineherd going home, but a Jarasti moonsinger said, "Beauty is not in the art, but in what it instills." In that moment, Nazdar knew he must sing, so he broke his vow and left the adeptorium to make music. You can make art for others, said Erka of the Bard College, or for yourself. Nazdar knows he is not good enough to make art for others, but Dashing the Salzo always encouraged Nazdar to make art for himself. Nazdar will never forget that. Your kindness reminds Nazdar of the love Dashing the Salzo had for the Stitches in life. This one recalls many joys in the company of Tasnazi and the...
A beautiful day for a stroll in the sky, huh? As long as a dragon doesn't swoop out of the sky and eat you. That would certainly ruin an otherwise nice excursion.
That's everyone. Taznazi must speak with you. Taznazi has not seen her old crew in some time. Not since... Never mind. You were not followed, yes? Taznazi is not welcome in the stitches. Associates of Taznazi, also not welcome. Kazda was lieutenant to Dashin de Salzo. Taznazi as well, until he was found with her knife in his back. No one cared if she was innocent. They wanted someone to blame, and Kazda gave them an answer. After everything, they turned their backs on her. It's not. No, you're right. Taznazi says she hates this place. She should hate this place. But the Stitches is her home, her family. Taznazi won't sit idle while Kazda destroys it. Her reasons aren't important. We should discuss the plan. Today, we hit Kazda right under his nose. We'll break into the basement of the Mirville Keep through this sewer, so long as Vol can pick the locks.
Ah, locks. Cute. Might as well be fancifully knotted ribbons to me.
Good. At the courtyard, we'll have sentries, but Serin's teleportation spell should let us pass unnoticed.
Were you talking to me?
We'll enter the palace through a second-floor storage room. Nazdar will scale the wall and drop a rope for us.
As spake Urwa the Observant. I see.
Taznazi and the newcomer will handle any trouble that comes our way. Let's get started.
To know the road you walk is a joy was recorded as the last words of Ofin Dentro. Our road is now known to us. It will be a joy to walk it. We need a way into the tower once we've crossed the courtyard. Nazdar will scale it and gain access. Years may befall the river, yet it still flows. The red cone is clear. You see a frail old cat, but Nazdar is a proud practitioner of the Whispering Claw. You will see. To know the road you...
As dumb as Kazda is, he never did skimp on security. Those locks he has in his dungeons are dwarven make. No one gets through those. Unless you're me, of course. The Bowel is part of the keep's old cistern. You can get up to its dungeons from here. The Salzo never used them, and neither does Kazda. Place is a dump. But Kazda's paranoid about his treasure, and the door's fitted with dwarven locks. Yep, some scavenged dwarven artifacts cobbled together to make a lock that most saps couldn't crack. Kazda probably bought them off Jew Bonnie, and Jew Bonnie probably had them built by a particularly handsome and talented bossmer. That's me, by the way. Right. We don't know what may have moved into the dungeons after Kazda stopped paying attention, so I'll be counting on you to watch my back.
Teleporting. I should have eaten breakfast today, instead of drinking it. Taznazi's route involves us crossing the courtyard. The safest way to cross it without being seen? Don't cross it. So I'm going to teleport us, which is something I can absolutely do. It's hard to do even when you're not hungover, even if you've had a complete education from the Mages Guild. I mean, I've done it before, a couple of times, and it largely worked out fine. So let's give me the benefit of the doubt. Oh, why didn't I think of that? I'll just wave my tail and have us there in time for tea. I have to see where I'm going. If I was just guessing, Vid... Well, I don't guess anymore, so there.
You have any questions for Taznazi? Otherwise, we go. Taznazi counts on you to be a guard, a lookout, and whatever else is needed as we work. She has done enough jobs to know that things will come up that can't be anticipated, so it is good to have an extra pair of paws, just in case. Was there someone in particular you had questions about? Once we clear the dungeons, we're in the courtyard. We need to cross it without being seen. Risky with the size of our crew, but Serene, with enough preparation, can teleport us across the grounds with no one the wiser. After we've crossed the courtyard, we must infiltrate the second level of the palace. A sheer climb into enemy territory, but the masters of the Whispering Claw can glide on the wind like a whisper. The rest of us will use the rope he carries. He's our ticket from the dungeon to the courtyard. Taznazi knows that Kazda doesn't keep his dungeons guarded. He had some special dwarven locks put in. They'd keep most people out, but Vol can crack them. Now is the time to ask. You might not have the opportunity later. Yes, Taznazi knows Merville Keep, where Kazda rules. It has 3 main sections: the dungeon, the courtyard, and the palace. The vaults are inside the palace, but the main entrance is too well guarded. We must take a more circuitous route. Through a small storage room in the south tower. Its window is broken, and it's rarely guarded. We reach the south tower by crossing the courtyard, and we reach the courtyard by coming up through the dungeons. Smelly, but unobserved.